Hello, accounting superstars. This is Professor Don Bush. I've been a professor for about 30 years and a CPA for about that long, and I've got great ways to explain accounting. So you've come to the right place. So today's lesson is about the cost of goods manufactured statement. And I've got a really easy way of doing it. It's different than the textbook, and so I'm going to show you both ways to do it. It'll be really, this will be a short lesson. Now, the textbook way of doing it is a little confusing. In fact, it took me a long time to learn it when I was in school. I'm not sure if I ever learned it in school, but I've got a good way of doing it. And once you understand my way of doing it, which is easy, then you'll get the textbook way. And the reason why I'm showing you both ways is that never ever have I seen my way of doing it in a textbook or ever displayed. So my way of doing it's rather unique. And but I'm happy to say I made it up myself though, and I've never seen anybody copy it. I've had a few other professors ask if they could copy my way of doing it. I said, sure, why not? What I ought to do is copyright it. That'd be the thing to do. So let's get going here. So hey, I've got a webpage. It's called accountingsuperstars.com, and it's got all my videos listed by topic, so that way you can find them really easy. So I've got here some information that we're going to use. We're going to use this in just a little bit. And here's the key to success right here. All it is this simple little formula that I hope you guys have memorized. Just memorize it. My gosh, it's so easy, guys, and it'll help you out a lot. It'll save you a lot of time, and you'll be able to, when you memorize things, you can access it really fast. You don't have to look it up. So here's how it works. Beginning inventory plus purchases minus ending inventory equals cost of goods sold. There's the formula right there. Works every time. Now I've got dollars here, and I've got little tiny dollars, so it makes sense. But what really helps is if you think of it in terms of apples, okay? Like if you start the day with 5 apples and you buy 20 more apples, that means you've got 25 apples. And at the very end of the day, you only have 3 apples left. Well, how many apples did you sell? Or maybe did you eat? Okay, you must have sold 22 apples. All right, so all you have to do this, just write this formula down 2 times and you can do this, at least my method. And we're going to do it once for raw materials, the second time for work in process. So let's get started. I'm going to have to split the screen a little bit. Down below here, I've got the cost of goods manufactured statement. All right. And this is my way of doing it right here. Makes sense. You'll get the right answer every time if you do it this way. All right. So here's how it starts. We start out with beginning direct raw materials. So let's get that in a nice dark print. There we are. And the amount is 20 bucks. Where did we get it? Right from up here. Right there. Okay. Second line here, direct raw material purchases. So we're going to add direct raw material purchases, $250. And if you're wondering where we got that, we got it right here. I'll highlight both those numbers. There we go. And ending direct raw materials right here, and the amount is $30, and we get it from right there. So here's what's going on. It's like the apple thing, we start the day with 20 apples and we buy 250 more apples, and at the end of the day, we've only got 30 apples left. How many apples did we sell? That's all there is to it. 240 apples. And it's called cost of direct raw materials used. All right, so coming down, all we have to do is do this a second time and we've got it all done. So let's do it for work in process. So we start out with beginning work in process. Beginning work in process, the amount is right here, $40. There we go. Plus the cost of direct raw materials used. Well, where are we going to get that? Well, we're going to get it from right up above. Put that in a kind of a greeny color here. There we go, just so it stands out. So that $240 is going to go right there, and there you go. All right, and then we're going to add in direct labor. So add direct labor, and here's the number right here. There we go, $400. Add in manufacturing overhead, 300. There we are. And then we subtract out ending work in process. There we go. And we get cost of goods manufactured. And that's what we're after. That's the final answer. So the two parts of this, they work the same. You know, remember I did the apple thing? Well, it kind of works the same way. Like if you start with 40 apples and you buy 240 and then you buy another 400 and then you buy another 300, that's a whole lot of apples, right? And then at the end of the day, you only have 35 left. Well, this is how many apples you sold. So it works the exact same way. So let's go down to the textbook method, all right? The textbook method looks pretty different. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unsplit this so you can see the whole thing in its entirety. So here's what the textbook method looks like, and we'll just fill in the numbers. And all we're doing is we're embedding the direct raw materials in the middle here. So here's a good way to think of it, is that think of work in process as giving you a big giant hug. I know that sounds kind of silly, but it's a good way to remember it. Work in process is giving you a big giant hug. And folks, here is one of the arms. You know, you need two arms for a big giant hug. And so here you go. Let's see, let's put it in yellow. All right, so there's one arm. And here's the other arm, right? So we've got beginning work in process and we've got ending work in process. So those are the two arms. So work in process giving you a big hug. Now, other than that, it's kind of what I do when my own format. So we'll start with direct raw materials, and you'll see this is identical in here to what we did before. And then we're going to add in direct labor and overhead, and we're pretty much done. All right, so I've got to split the screen though, otherwise we will not be able to see what we're doing. So here we go, view, split. So I'll go back up to the original numbers. There we are, beginning work in process. So we'll start out with that. Here's the number right here, $40. Let me highlight it so it stands out. $40 right there. Now we'll do the section on raw materials. So beginning direct raw materials, the very beginning, here it is, 20. And there's the number. Put it into place. Plus direct raw material purchases, which is $250. We got that right there. $250. Less ending direct raw materials, it's $30. Right there you are. $30. Okay, so let's get how much raw materials was used. And it's like the apples. Start the day with 20 apples. You buy 250. At the end of the day, you only got 30 left. How many apples did you sell? That's what's going on there. So 240. Direct labor. Let's put it in there. There's the number, $400 for direct labor. There we go. And direct labor, those are the people actually building the boats. Manufacturing overhead. Manufacturing overhead is a lot of different things. Things like property taxes and insurance and you name it. All right, so the next thing here, total work in process cost. So all we're going to do is we're going to add up our beginning, add up the raw materials, add up the direct labor and the overhead, and we're going to get a total. So there we go. So this $980, that is everything from the 40, the 240, the 400, the 300, add it all up. Now we're going to subtract out the ending work in process. And there it is. There's the ending work in process. And so it'll be a minus 35. So all we do is take our total work in process. In fact, what I'll do is I'll highlight this so it stands out. Highlight it in a different color. I'm going to put it in green. So all we're going to do is take our 980 minus weight 35, and we get 945. And let's check our work. Let's look at the statement, my formatting, my way to format it. So there we are. Look at that. We're the same. So you'll get the same number. the same result either way. 945, 945, there you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that helps you out. I know formatting the cost of goods manufacturer statement, the way the textbook does it, can be a little confusing. I mean, not a little, a lot confusing. And I left out a few little details that really aren't needed that your textbook might have. But there you go. At least you got the basic idea. So check out the webpage, accountingsuperstars.com, and let me know if you like these videos. Hit the like button and the subscribe button, and that way YouTube and I will know that you like these videos. All right, until next time, over now.